Hello there, welcome to Grade 11 Accounting. In this video, we want to look at a March 2023 test, and it's a test from the province of Limpopo. And we are going to look at the question 2 on that question paper, that is on creditors reconciliation. Our question is for 20 marks, and it requires you to spend on average 18 minutes on that question. So our question reads the following creditors ledger account of Rolex dealers was extracted from the records of Quincy stores. When the bookkeeper of Quincy stores compared the statement of Rolex dealers, he discovered that there were some errors and omissions on the required part 2.1. Correct the errors made in the account of Rolex dealers in the creditors ledger of Quincy stores. And our question is put 7 marks. Second part, prepare the creditors reconciliation statement on 31 March 2020. And our question is put 7 marks. And lastly, name 3 internal control measures for creditors, which is 6 marks. So we are also given additional information in terms of creditors ledger of Quincy stores. So this is a business of Quest stores. So in the ledger accounts of Quest stores, there is an account of Rolex dealers, which we are having here as a ledger account. There will also have a reconciliation statement of Rolex dealers of 29 February 2020. So let's take note of the date. So you see that this date is the date of the end of the previous period. So if you go there, you'll see that the current period is ending on 31 March 2020. So what it means is the data, the reconciliation that we are given there is the reconciliation of the end of the previous period, that is the 29th of 2020. So we also have our statement of account of Rolex dealers. So this statement is coming from Rolex dealers as a creditor, and it's addressed to Quest stores. So it's a statement. So that what it means is Quest stores is buying. Quest stores as a business is buying from as Rolex dealers would credit. So that's why we have that is a statement. So we have a summary of the transactions which took place during the period. Then beneath that, we are given additional information in terms of where it reads the bookkeeper of Quest stores and Rolex dealers made the following errors and omissions. So we are given the various points that we have there in terms of the errors and omissions. So this becomes the last part of our question. So basically, that's what we have. So remember, we have 2 documents that we have here. That is, we are having the creditors ledger of Quest stores, and then we also have the creditors we also have the creditor statement or the statement of account from the creditor. So those 2 documents should contain the same elements. So what we are saying is at each and every period, we should see that the balance that we are having in the ledger should be the same as the balance on the statement of account. So if they are not the same, it means there are errors and omissions which took place, which needs to be corrected, and thus there is a need for creation of the creditors reconciliation statement. So basically, that's the use of the creditors reconciliation statement to make sure that the two balances that we have at the end of the period of the 2 documents are the same. So that's what we have. So what we have on the debit side of the ledger. So what we are saying is what is on the debit side of the ledger. That is, this ledger should be the same with what is on the credit side of the statement. So, and also what is on the debit side of the statement should be the same as what is on the credit side of the ledger. So that's how we make the comparisons. So given the information that we're given, we also have the opening balance that we are going to start with in the other section. Remember, if you come to your answer section, you would see that we need to come up with the opening balances. And the opening balance that we are going to use are the balances, the closing balances that we are going to have in our statement. So it means for the creditors reconciliation, we are going to start with 21,044 as our opening balance. And also, if you go to the ledger, we are going to start with 18,187 as our opening balance. And then from there, we can now be able to correct the errors and omissions. So this is our answer section. So all our creditors ledger of Quest stores, we are going to start with our balance BD, of which we are going to check the closing balance that we have here. There's the balance BD. So 80,187. So you come here, you say, and remember, if you come on the ledger, it's a balance that we are going to take as a favorable balance, because we are seeing that it's a positive balance. So if it's a positive, it becomes a favorable balance. So we are going to start with it. as our opening balance. So we come here, we put our balance as 18,187. And then we go to our opening balance again for the creditors reconciliation. Go to the statements. We'll take it from the statement, and we have 21,044. So we come in, we put our 21,044, which is also, if you go to the statement, you see that it's a positive balance again. So it means when it's a positive, it should be a debit balance. Remember, we are saying what is on the debit side of our statement should is also what is on the credit side of our ledger. So if it's a favorable balance from the statement point of view, but the statement is representing the supplier selling goods. So from the point of view of the supplier, they are going to receive money if you pay them. So obviously, their favorable balance will be represented by a debit balance. But to our point of view, we credit in our creditors ledger. So basically, that's what we have. So a credit balance in the creditors ledger will be on the debit side of the statement. So we're going to start with 1,044, and that we have as our opening balance in the creditors reconciliation. So if you come here, we are saying put it on the debit side is 21,044. So from that point, we can now go to our additional information where we're going to correct the errors and omissions. So the first point now is saying Rolex dealers incorrectly recorded credit note 112 is 50 rand instead of 450. So if you go there, Rolex dealers is represented by the statement. So if we create a note number 112, it says 50 rand, but it's supposed to be 450. So what does it mean? It means we enter the smaller figure on the credit side. So we need to enter the difference so that it gets to 450. So basically, to get the difference, we say 450 minus 50, and we're going to get 400. So it means our credit side, this 50 is short of 400, so that it gets to correct figures 450. So we can here and enter the 400 on the credit side. So go of the reconciliation. So if you come in here now, we say this is going to be a credit note number 112, which is incorrect. So we can just summarize by saying credit note note number 112 incorrect. And we are saying we should put a 400 on the credit side. So that's what we have on the first error that we have there. The second point is saying Rolex dealers did not record the discount allowed on 11 March 2020. So if you go to the ledger, 11 March is here. So we are saying this discount that we have 250 was not recorded. It's not appearing on the credit side of the statement. So you see that this is our statement. So if you can use that, there's no 250 that is there on 11 March. So there's no 250 for the discount. So you see that in that case, it means we have to enter this 250 on the credit side of the creditors reconciliation. So it's missing. So basically, we are going to say discount not entered. So we come to our answer section, and we are saying discounts not entered. And the amount that we are using is 250. So we're going to say 250. And then from there, we can go to the next part whereby I say this is now point number 3, which is saying invoice number 478 on 24 March 2020 was recorded as 2,128 rands instead of 1,228. So if you go there, so it means 1,228 is correct, is the correct amount. So we go there on the statement and check about that invoice, invoice number 478. So we'll see that on the statement it's 1,228, which is the correct figure here. So it means all the statement is correct. But if you go to the ledger, you'd see that it's 2,128. So It's invoice number 478 2020. So it means in the ledger it's incorrect. So we want to see it's incorrect with how much. So in 2128, then you subtract the figure for the correct amount, which is 1228. So you say 1228. So we see that it's, if you calculate there, let's calculate to see the difference. See that you're going to get 900. So it means the figure that we have is big, it's greater than the correct figure with 900. So if you come here, see that 128 is greater with 900 because it's supposed to be 1228. So to reduce it to 1228, we are supposed to put our 900 on the debit side. It's now in our answer section. So we go on our answer section. We come here, we are now saying incorrect invoice 478. Incorrect invoice, and it's invoice number 478. And we go to our 900, so we are supposed to put on the debit side. So basically, that's what we have there. So we can try to go to the next point that we have on our additional information, which is now invoice number 12268. So on invoice number 12268, it's on 25 March 2020, was for stationery purchased from Rolex or sellers, not from Rolex. So obviously this mistake is in the ledger. So if you go to our ledger, we have this invoice that we are having here. It's invoice 12268. So this one is not supposed to be here. It's from another supplier, which is highlighted there as it's from Rolex wholesalers, and it's not from Rolex dealers. Remember, the statement that we have is from Rolex dealers. So this is the mistake. So we are supposed to remove it since it's not for Rolex dealers. So we go there and you see the amount that we are having that is there, which is 12268, is 490. So to remove it, we go to the opposite side, which is debit side, and enter it on the debit side. So basically, we come here. We are now saying we are here. We are saying incorrect invoice 12268. Correct invoice, and we give a reference in terms of the number of invoice. It's 12268. Then the amount that we have. And remember, it's 490, and they're saying we are going to put it on the debit side. So we for 490, this one we have to remove by putting it on the debit side. So we come here and say 490. We also have a column for balances which we have to adjust. Remember, here it's a creditors account. This is our ledger, and when it's a creditors account, it's a liability account. So whenever it's a liability account, whenever we credit, so we should show it should adjust as a positive. We should add here. When we adjust it as a negative, we should subtract. So we have two entries that are on the debit. So on the first entry, we're going to say 18,187 minus 900, and then you get your answer here, which is 17,287. And then we go to the next one where we're saying 17,287 minus 490. And then we calculate it like that. You see that we are going to get 16,700, 16,797. So this is what we. So that's what we have on this at this point. Then we go to the next point. Additional information, whereby now we are saying we are now going to second from last point, which is saying Rolex dealers charge the account of Quasi stores with 97 rands interest. Rolex dealers charged the account of Quasi stores with 90 rands interest. So if you go to the ledger, you see that there is no 97 that is appearing there, which means it's missing in the ledger. So basically, we are supposed to correct it in our answer section. So this is the interest that is missing. So if we check this interest should appear on the credit side of the ledger now. So we're not seeing it, so you have to put it in the ledger. So we come on the other section. So this is our ledger, and we are going to describe it as interest on overdue account. Interest on overdue account. So we can just write in full. So we have 97, and then we have to put on the credit side. So obviously, by putting on the credit side, remember we're saying it's a plus. So it's now 16,797 plus 97 into get your 16,894. So we have 16,894 to AP. So basically, that's what we have. Then with that, we can now try to see according to the next statement that we have, which is the account was sent to Quasi Stores. The account was sent to Quasi Stores on 29 March 2020. So what are we saying? We are saying the account that is being referred to is this statement. The statement of account was sent on 29 March. We are saying that it is transactions up to 28. But if you look at our month is the month of March. Our month is month of March, which means the dates after 29 March and before the end of March we are not captured. I mean the transactions which took place after 29 March and before the end of March. That is from 29. That is from 29 to 31. They are not appearing here on the statement. That is, if you go to the ledger, we've got transactions which took place after, for example, for this third one, this EFT. So that's the only one that we have, EFT number 7929. It was not captured on the statement. If you go to the statement, it's not even appearing. It's because it transpired after the statement was sent. So we need to update it in the statement. So we are saying we have got a payment which took place of EFT number 7929 of 3,500, which we need to update on the statement. So on the other section, we're going to adjust it in the reconciliation. So we go there, we go to the reconciliation part. We are saying it's going to be a payment after 29 March. Payment, payment after 29 March. And what payments should come to the debit side? And we are seeing that this is a payment on from the creditors reconciliation statement point of view. Remember when when we buy from them as our supplier goods, they debit from their statement. They are supposed to debit, but when a payment is made, it's supposed to be credited on statement. So it's what transpires on the statement. So the creditors reconciliation is a reflection of what is transpiring on the statement. So we are just going to do the same by crediting the amount that was for the payment, that is 3,500. So come here, we are saying 3,500 on the credit side. So that's what we get. Then from there we can now be able to calculate our balance. That is our balance that we have. So obviously, what we need to do is to compare the totals of the debit and credit. But we're seeing that on the debit side, it was only 1,800, we spent 1,044. But if we add 400, if we add 400 plus 250 plus 3,500, you are going to get. Let's try to get and see what we get. Get 4,150. So the total that you get here, if you add here, you're going to get 4,150. And to see that you compare it to that, the debit side is with the greater total. So in that case, we are supposed to put the greater total in the table lines, which is on the debit side, we get 1,044, which is also supposed to come here at 1,044. And then the credit side has got a smaller total with 4,150. And we see the difference between the greater total and smaller total by saying 1,044 minus 4,150. And we're going to get a balance of 16,894. So we get 16,894. And this is now the balance according to our creditors ledger. 16,894. See that this balance is the same with the balance that we got for the creditors ledger. So basically, that's the essence of our creditors reconciliation statement. That is, it tries to reconcile the two balances so that they become the same. So after correction of errors and omissions, we should see the two balances from the two documents being the same. So this is what we have on this part, but we have another part which is the last part of our question, which reads, let's just try to see. According to our question, we have another question that we need to go through, which is on 2.3. Name 3 internal control measures of creditors control. Our question is 6 marks. So obviously, we need to find out what measures can we put in place. So these are the measures that we have. We have the first one, which is a price is charged and the accuracy of invoices from creditors should be checked. So that's one of them. Then secondly, we've got the quantities of goods received should be checked against the invoices from creditors. So if this is just to check if there are variances that are there. So it becomes an internal control measure. And then we go to the next one, all available discounts should be taken. That is, if our creditor gives us some discounts, we should utilize them. So that's what we have. Then next, we've got invoices must be properly processed before payment. So processing of invoice also is also necessary. So this is again an internal control procedure, so that when invoices are captured, it can be easy to track those invoices. So basically, that's what we have. And lastly, there must be separation of duties. So division of duties also is an effective way of using as an internal control measure. So basically, this will become the last one. But if you go back to a question, you see that it requires 3 internal control measures. So you can just pick 3 from the ones that you are given here. So this is what we've guys according to this video on the preparation of the creditors and reconciliation. So we still have more typical examination questions that are going to be uploaded on this channel. So let's stay tuned. Let's subscribe and share. Let's share the link to our colleagues who are doing grade 11 accounting. As for this video, I'm signing out. We'll meet again in the next video.